it's a small percentage of the population that if shit hit the fan right now today, they're gonna be all right.
People are screwed, bro. They're so screwed. They don't know anything besides go to the store and get food.
Yep.
That taps into something that like our ancestors had to do. They had to go get that food.
They had to. Like if you went out and hunt and you didn't bring nothing back, you was gonna starve that night.
But being in the woods is fun though.
Bro,
like it's fun. Like it sucks. It's like something about being out there with your boys and just complaining. Hey, what's going on? It's another episode of the Teel podcast. And like always, I have another great guest, Mr. Trey Reed. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. They living life, man. Living life one era at a time.
Yeah, I feel that, man. So you are one half of the Reed Talk Listen podcast,
Yep.
The Dreaded Archer. And is that just a podcast? That's more than a podcast?
So right now it's a podcast, it's a brand, but right now it's mainly the podcast. But starting in 2025, got some cool shows on the way. CarbonTV is like, yo, we want you to do a little bit more. You know, people are asking about you. So I've been having this idea. It's called Wild Pull-Ups with the Dreaded Archer. So basically, guys that either they hunt, they got, you know, an archery shop, they make arrows, they make something in the archery industry. I'm gonna pull up on them and we're gonna spend a day with them and just chill.
Yeah. Y'all gonna go in the woods, or are you just like going to their shops?
Both. If they do stuff like guys that trap and stuff, we'll go in the woods and spend a day trapping with them. Guys that make arrows will be in the workshop making arrows and, you know, going through the whole industry, getting all the, you know, the bones of it. Yeah.
Now, Nick was telling me, Nick is your brother, Nick Reed. Shout out to Nick Reed.
Oh, yeah.
He was telling me you were the first one to get the dreads, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I got out the military in 2011 and I went to Southern Arkansas. And, you know, being at the Naval Academy, you know, you had to be, you know, ball fade or, you know, saying just the ball fade or just bald. So I was like, I hate having, you know, short hair. I always wanted long hair like Ricky Williams. So I started growing my hair out to see how long I could get it. Then I got the big fro and I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna get dreads. So started twisting them up and then they locked up and I was like, I ain't going back. Like it just fit.
Right. And so is there any other dreaded archers? Like
no, there's
archers
not.
with dreads? So
no. So when I first started getting into archery, I like the day I got back from the shop and getting my bow, I get on Instagram and just type in like black archers. One guy popped up and his name is Campfire Evolution. He's up in Montana and he got dreads. Other than that, I ain't nobody else.
Well, hey, that to me, that still seems like the market was wide open then.
Oh, it was wide open. Yeah. And like the name just stuck. I was like, my brother goes, man, you got to come up with a name. I'm like what? He goes, I don't know, man. Like the dreaded bow hunter or dreaded outdoors. I'm like, I'm trying to think like, what's the archer? Dreaded archer. He goes, bro, that's it. Yeah. And it just
it's
stuck.
Cool. Yeah. It makes sense too. Yeah.
And it's kind of like a little, like one guy, he goes, I hate ponds. Well, your name is pretty dope. I was like,
yeah, because it is like dreaded, like
the animals fear me. They dread me, but I got dreadlocks. So. But there's a guy named the Dreaded Fisherman, but all he do is fish. Yeah, but he dope.
So y'all just buddies. Yeah.
I've been trying to get him on the podcast. And he's like,
that would be cool.
But he always at some fishing tournament. So
yeah. Hey, them fishing guys are wild, dude. The fishing guys be serious about fishing. Yeah,
bro, I just got into ice fishing too.
Oh my gosh. Ice fishing? What? Where? You have to go somewhere. I'm assuming, right?
Minnesota, man. Yeah. Well, we went out. So,
which I guess North Dakota that's up there, ain't it?
Yeah, North Dakota is cold. South Dakota is cold. Minnesota's cold. Wisconsin, Montana, Wyoming, all that shit.
I ain't been in geography in forever. Let's look at it. North Dakota on a USA map.
It's the top. It's on the border.
It is. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. So y'all border Canada. Hell yeah.
So I'm in South Dakota.
Oh, you're in South Dakota.
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm under North Dakota.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Still.
Dakota.
So but you were born here, right?
Yeah.
So what landed you in South Dakota?
My job. So when I moved back, when I graduated from SAU, working at TC for a year, and me and my boss got into like a little argument over like selfie sticks and t-shirts. So I'm like, left work today, pissed off. Get in the car, I get an email from RJ Reynolds saying, hey, you know, you applied a year ago. We'd like to talk to you again. So I hit him up And they flew me out to Pennsylvania. I did my interview, got back, and they called and said, hey, we're going to send you to San Jose, California. So I'm like, hey, dope.
Yeah.
I'm down to go. I'm trying to get out chest scanner. A week before I moved, they called and go, hey, we made a mistake. We already filled San Jose. We got to send you to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I was like, well, the moving truck already came and took my stuff. So they was like, well, we'll call and reroute it. But will you accept the job? I'm like, well, what's the benefit of going to South Dakota? It's like, no state income tax. I said, you got me.
Oh, yeah.
So they actually called because I had an apartment.
Yeah, that's where we're going next.
Right? I'd already paid deposit on an apartment and everything in San Jose.
Wow.
RJ Reynolds called him and was like, hey, the guy we had coming there, he's now going to South Dakota. They paid the people to break the lease and all that stuff. And South Dakota I went.
What year would that have been?
2015.
2015. So it's been almost 10 years.
Yep.
Jeez.
Right. And it's been a fast, wild 10 years.
Yeah. Is that so? Where's the CarbonTV? Like, where is that located? Is that South Dakota?
No, CarbonTV is in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did you get that connection?
So started doing the Dread Archer podcast, and there's this guy named Greg Gundella Jr. Shout out to Greg, is my boy. So he has a show called Rack and Rod Chronicles. So I had him on the show, me and him just kind of, chopping it up. And he was like, so I asked him, how do you get on CarbonTV? And he was, oh, well, I met Julie and da-da-da. And after the show, he was like, hey, dude, I'm going to send all your information over to Julie and, see, you'd be a good addition to CarbonTV. And in this industry, I'm used to people saying stuff and not following through.
Right.
So it is what it is. So I'm like, oh, yeah, cool, man. So I gave him all my contact information. So 3 months went by and I'm like, man, I ain't heard nothing. They must think I'm whack or something. So I just kind of gave up on it.
Yeah. And
then I want to say it was August of 2022. Email from CarbonTV, lady named Autumn was like, hey, we want to schedule a meeting with Julie, president of CarbonTV. She wants to talk to you about, your podcast potentially coming on the platform. So I'm like, cool. Schedule a meeting. I mean, I'm nervous. I'm like, right. She's like a big wig. Like she's big in the honey industry. Like she's big. So we have a little Zoom call and we probably 45 minutes in and she ain't mentioned nothing about being on the platform. Just kind of who I am and what CarbonTV does and the goal for CarbonTV and all that. And then so she's like, well, I think we've had, we've heard enough. And I'm like, dang, you ain't mentioned nothing.
Yeah.
And then right before she got off, she's like, oh, by the way, we would love to have you join the family.
Nice.
If you're up to it. I'm like, yeah. And then before I got off the phone, they had already emailed over the contract. I printed it out. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of glazed over it. Didn't really read it. I was so excited. And just sign that joker and then send it in. And then the girl I was dating at the time, she goes, you probably should read that. I'm like, well, it's too late now.
Too late.
But I read it. I'm like, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah. So your podcast just became a part of their...
Yep. So basically, it was just they handle any kind of marketing or whatever.
All right. So they push it out.
They push
That's
it. Yep.
Nice.
So the first 2 months, I was on the opening banner and all that, and
nice.
all the different content creators on there were hitting you up oh, congratulations and all that.
Yeah.
And then they invited me and Nick to the 10-year anniversary of CarbonTV, and we were sitting in there, and they talking all the what's to come and all this stuff, and big up and all the people that won Carbon Awards. And there was a lady there named Trish Titus. And I was like, Chrissy Titus. And I was like, she won Podcast of the Year. And I told Nick, I was like, bro, I'm coming for that spot.
Yeah.
So for a year, all I did was I listened to her podcast. I didn't listen to nobody else. I listened to Joe Rogan, nothing. Just listen to Chrissy Titus. What is she doing that other podcasts aren't doing? And then the year 2023 came. They had the nominations. I didn't get nominated. And it was like, well, you haven't been on CarbonTV a full year yet, so you're ineligible. Shit, okay, whatever. So 2023, the end of it, I just started just doing just pushing.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Going into the summer. Boom, boom of 2024, just pushing. And then September, it was like, oh, you've been nominated. I'm like, now I'm in it. Yeah. Now I got to win that joker. And bro, when they called and told me I won, I was like, shh.
I voted for you. Yeah.
Right? And it was it wasn't even close. It was it was a landslide.
Yeah. How many shows are on there? Excuse me.
So right now I got 68 shows. Oh, how many shows in total?
On CarbonTV.
A podcast? Ooh, I bet they got probably about 150.
Wow. And there's I'm sure it's a YouTube channel. It's
So, so for podcasts, it's just audio only. But they're gonna. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago, and they're actually gonna start putting like the videos on there. So, like I record my podcast, but they just do the audio. Yeah. So now it'll be audio, or you can watch.
Yeah, you gotta have the video now.
Yeah, man, you gotta have video.
It's like the new thing. I don't know. People want to see the person you're talking to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It make them feel like they're in the conversation.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. But that audio is more like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more realistic, like how people consume it though.
Yeah. Well, like with hunters, like I noticed like during the summertime, my views are they pretty much stay steady. But then during hunt season, it goes up because I can sit in my tree stand.
Yeah, I got the earphone in.
Put my earphone in, and I can still listen and look around. So I get most of my views during the hunt season.
Wow.
And just,
people are probably thinking about it more. And
like going back, like guys will go back and listen to shows I did when I first started, when the audio was not that good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, like show I did a year and a half ago, like 400 new views. I'm like, dang.
Right.
Like, let's do it.
It's the thing about it, like posting these things, and it's like at the beginning, nobody is listening. But like you start to elevate yourself, and then what do people do? They're like, oh, well, like once somebody really gets committed to you, they'll be like, okay, I want to see all the other stuff. And, you know, at the higher you elevate, the more they're going to keep going back. And one of these days, that episode that had 40 views may have thousands of views,
man,
you know?
Dude, my very first episode I put on, this was before CarbonTV, I put it on Spotify. It got like 4 downloads. I'm like, man, this is weak. And then the next one was like 6. And the other one was like 3. I'm like, why am I doing this? And it must have been like the universe trying to talk to me, because I was listening to one of Joe Rogan's podcasts, and he was like, yeah, man, when I first started, it took, you know, people were like, why are you doing this? Like, who's listening to you? And he was doing multiple shows. He's like, he was at his 500th episode is when it popped, the shit like popped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, I'm only at 4 episodes. Hey, shit,
Yeah, we want it to happen faster than what's probably supposed to happen.
Man, it's like the iceberg thing, man. Everybody sees it's the tip.
Yeah.
And like, but so much went into it, so you can see just the tip. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, everybody wants it overnight. Everybody wants to be that overnight viral sensation that, you know, you went from, you know, 100 followers to 1.2 million. That shit don't happen overnight for everybody. That shit rarely happens. No. It's a slow grind, and you just got to be willing to basically grind it out. But a lot of things is they're doing it, but they don't have a passion for it. And my thing is, like for me, if I get 15 people listening, I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
I get 1,500 people listening.
Yeah, because they're actually. I just want people to listen.
Yeah, I just want people to listen, and I'm talking about something I'm passionate about. I care about hunting. I care about conservation. I care about the outdoors, archery, all that. I live and breathe that shit.
Yeah.
So, if 10 people listening and they listening every week, cool. I'm rocking with that 10.
What came first, the Reed Talk and Listen podcast, or the Dread Archer one?
Reed Talk and Listen came first, and that came. It happened during COVID.
Right.
So, you know, everybody's locked up in the house and all that stuff. And one of our buddies, LJ and Kevin Lutheringer, they hit us up like, hey, y'all come on our show. I think it's called Just Press Play. So we got on that show, and we just kind of talked it up, whatever. And then every morning, me and Nick call each other and just talk on the phone every single day. And it'd be some good, some deep conversations, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, older brother, little brother, we just hitting it back and forth.
You're the older brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, we should do a podcast. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to spend all that money. And he's like, dude, it won't cost us nothing really. So I went and got on Facebook Marketplace and bought a $60 MacBook that I'm sure it was stolen. And I bought it. And
hey, anybody selling a $60 MacBook, hit me up. I need that.
But, hey, it was like the S button didn't work.
Yeah.
I had to like really punch it for it to work.
Yeah.
But got that, and went and got like a microphone off Amazon, and we just started using Zencaster and just record. I think we recorded like 10 shows before we decided to actually put one out.
Yeah.
And we put one out, and you know, nobody listened. And then we put another one out, and nobody listened. And then I found out we could do clips. So I started putting just, you know, audio clips on Facebook, and we get a couple people listening. And then it just kind of just went from there. And then we was like, man, let's go live on Facebook. And we started going live. And that's when we started getting like traction and people started listening. So it was a slow grind. It sounds like this is like the girl I was dating at the time. She's like, it's pointless. No one's listening. I'm like, hey man, we just got to figure it out.
Yeah,
crack that code.
Dude, I have never started on somebody's like a podcast came out and I was like, oh yeah, I'm tapped in episode 1.
Nope.
This never happened. Like every podcast I've really gotten into has 100 episodes, 300 episodes, 400 episodes. The first Joe Rogan episode I listened to was in the 1800s.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I wasn't on podcast at all until like 2000, maybe 20, like the beginning of 23, like maybe the end of 22. I didn't listen to any.
Joe Rogan was the first podcast I ever listened to, and I think he was like 800.
Yeah, that would have been.
It was like, and the only reason
he started in 2007.
Yeah,
which is wild.
And the only reason I listened to it is because I saw a clip that he had posted. Him and Joey Diaz were talking, and man, that clip it was perfect. It ended right when the story got good, and I'm like, I gotta go listen to the. And the funny part about it is that clip was like at hour, like 3 hours in.
Yeah.
But I listened to the whole show to get to that little section. I'm like, well, this whole show was dope.
Yeah.
And I just let it ride. Just started standing. Now I'm caught up.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But I haven't listened to like 1 through whatever. But I'm like, now I'm tapped in.
Yeah, Rogan's the shit. I mean, you just gotta think. If you talk to that many people, like you have to get better at it.
Yeah.
You can't talk to 2,000 people and not like be really good at talking to people. It's wild.
And that's why like a lot of people, they're like, how you talk to people like that? I like to talk. And especially if I'm talking about something that I know and passionate about, it's easy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just
it's easy.
don't look at it like, I know a lot of guys get into it and they try to like be too formal with it. They like when they have all their notes and they trying to stay on topic. And like with me, like if you came on the Dread Archer podcast, I would send you some notes. And then at the bottom of the email, it's going to tell you, these are notes that we will go by, but we probably won't stick to it. We'll get on some other topics.
Yeah. Oh, there's no notes here, brother. No. I told her in the car when we drove over here, I was like, yeah, I don't even have any notes. I just know that me and him can talk for 4 hours. Probably easy with no.
Them the best shows though. Like, like when I first started, I was formal. Like, I got to talk about this. And what would happen is the people would get on something else.
Yeah, and you try to bring them back.
And I try to bring them back.
And that mess up the flow.
It messed up the show. And then they kind of look at me like, man, I was going somewhere and you brought it back. So I just like, probably like this 3rd or 4th episode, I was like, I'm just going to let it just ride.
Yeah. Just let them go. Let them go wherever they're going.
Bro, and those have been the best shows. Like I had one guy named the Range Fairy, and everybody brings him on their show and they talk about, heavy FOC, which is like front and center. Do you want a really heavy arrow or do you want like a light arrow? Right. It depends on what you're hunting. And everybody talks to him about that because that's like his thing. Dude, me and him talked about The Godfather. We talked about Hamlet. We talked about Shakespeare. We was just all over the place on a hunting podcast. And people were like, that was like one of your best shows. Yeah,
because you're getting something different out of him.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. You can bring people in and just be like, all right, let's talk about this, and this. But like, that's not how real conversations are. That's not what happens at dinner. That's not what happens when it's just you and somebody like having a real conversation. Yep. You don't sit around. You don't like, oh, well, we got to talk about this. Or, oh, we didn't talk about that long enough. Let's bring it back.
Just let it ride.
You just go, bro. Go.
And one thing that is happening is like, I'll get somebody that I ain't supposed to be talking to. Like they way bigger than, they way big. And they'll have the notes and then we'll get to talking at the end of the show. They'll be like, dude, we didn't cover like 80% of the stuff on your notes. And I'm like, no, we didn't. We'll reschedule another show. I'm like, oh, let's go.
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope.
Let's go. Let's do it. And then we'll do another show and not talk about none of the notes.
Yeah. And they have to come back.
We got to come back. But a lot of guys like that because like, I'm by no means like big in the hunting industry, but there's some guys that are like legends, you know what I'm saying? And I've talked to them and our conversations is not, it has nothing to do with hunting a lot. Because those guys get tired of that shit, man.
They gotta be.
They get tired of it because everybody that gets, especially little guys, I gotta talk to them about this. Man, what you eat? Like, how you cook your deer meat? Yeah. Oh man, I do this, and then it just spirals into something else. I never really wanted to be nothing. I wanted to do ballet. Like, what?
What? Yeah.
And like, oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the show, they'll be like, dude, like, no one ever asked me questions about that. And I go do my research. I'll find out where they went to college at, if they played sports. I do all that.
Yeah.
And then I incorporate it. I bring it all back to hunting. But we'll spend an hour and a half talking about, them playing college football and just being just a person, man, having a real conversation.
Yeah, I think that's more important than anything.
Yep.
Like it doesn't need to be a host on the other end.
No, I just want to be just a regular dude. And I tell them all the time, like, look, man, I'm building this plane as I'm flying it. So a lot, like when it comes to like outdoors, I don't know, do you listen to any outdoor podcasts? So a lot of these guys, man, they talk like, it's kind of weird. Like if you ask me about my, like, how do you shoot archery? I'd be like, oh yeah, man, you just get your bow and do da. But then there's other guys, they'll be like, well, I took my Matthews V3 with my Victory Arrow 340 grain broadhead, and I like no one talks like that. I took out my Vortex Diamond 20x7. Like no one. I took my bow out, loaded an arrow up, and let the joker fly.
Yeah.
And so people look at me like, well, you don't know what you're talking about because you don't ever mention what you're shooting. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I don't mention why I'm shooting. One, I don't talk like that. Two, they ain't paying me. So I'm not going to give no free pub.
Yeah. And then as soon as you say a brand, they'll be in the comments talking about, so that brand's ass.
Exactly. And
you should shoot this.
And bro, I get into so many arguments about that stuff because like,
I can imagine.
Everybody, at this point, the archery, all the bows, all the equipment, we've closed the innovation gap. It's about, that's like this. A new bow comes out every year and I hate it. I've
heard Rogan talk about that.
I can't stand it because all you're doing is you're taking last year's bow, adding 2 or 3 new screws to it and saying that's a new bow.
Sound like an iPhone.
Exactly. It's the same thing. And God, I swear it's shoot different.
Yeah.
They all shoot the same. No one makes a better bow than anybody else. At this point, they all shoot the same. But some of the tech guys, Matthews is the best on the market. Yeah, I shoot a Matthews, but it ain't, I wouldn't say it's the bee's knees.
Yeah. It's just a bow. Yeah.
It's a bow, man.
But man, they're so fancy now and they're so strong and powerful and accurate. And it's not like, I had like a little wooden bow when I was little and we would go shoot targets on like hay bales and stuff. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun. This is not that.
No, it ain't nothing like that no more, man. Like the guy that owns the bow shop that I go to, Kim, he got it's like an old bear with the little wheels. They ain't got the big cams on it. It's just the little pulley wheels. He's pulling 75 pounds, but he's literally pulling 75 pounds back and holding it. Yeah. Ain't no let off. With my bow, I'm pulling 75 pounds, but I got 80% let off. So as soon as those cams turn, it's like holding nothing.
Right.
But when I let it go,
everything goes.
330 feet per second. It's out there.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it is just pulley systems.
Yep.
And it makes sense that's what it would evolve to. Do you think there's will there be something past the compound bow? Will there be something after that?
I mean, you got the crossbow, but
like that's upright like this.
No, the industry won't allow it.
Type of like electronic edge to it or something. You don't think that's coming?
There are some guys in the industry that would want something like that, but the majority of guys, they're trying to keep archery as pure as they possibly can. Because like right now, you got sights that have a rangefinder on it. So now I don't have to have a rangefinder. I can just aim at what I'm shooting at and push a button on my my grip, and my rangefinder or my sight will say, all right, it's 30 yards, and then it'll present a dot that. Oh,
so you don't even have to look at no notches and do any calculating or none of that.
And the industry hates it. They hate it.
Yeah, because the dot will just be like, it calculates the fall, the arrow drop
and everything. Yeah, because basically you go in and you put in your arrow weight, your broadhead, arrow length, draw length, how much weight you're pulling, and your peep sight height.
So it's like you put it into the system, and then it just is like, hey,
it knows this is the arrow I'm shooting. This is what all the specs of the bow, and then you have a target out at 80 yards. Hit that button, and it tell you, "Oop, here's the dot," or it'll drop the dot low. It's right here, and you just raise that dot, put it where you need to, and now it's on you. Now it's just all forming and everything.
Yeah, which is still difficult to shoot, from my understanding.
Man, anything like to me, anything past 50 yards, like. I'll shoot a target that far. An animal, never.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be
you run
one
the
of
risk of like what you're wounding it, right?
Yeah, because man, that arrow, it's not like a bullet. When you shoot a bullet, it's there.
Right.
The arrow, you can watch it just go and so many things can happen at 80 yards. The wind can change. The animal could step back. It could, drop his back. It could just move. It's anything. And now instead of a heart shot, lung shot, now you hit him in his guts or in his butt, or hell, I hit him in his neck. Now the animal's wounded, and now you got a wounded animal out there, and you got no meat.
Yeah, because it's hard to find them, right? Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Especially if they don't die, they're gone forever. Yeah,
you put a bad shot on them, man. I've tracked deer 3-4 hours and never find it. Have to come back the next day and hope my blood trail is still there.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Whew. It's like a primal thing still inside of us, I think, as far as like once you get out there hunting and you're going for that animal. Do you feel like the technology puts some sort of barrier that makes it feel less primal? Like this super complicated bow?
Nah, it's
still
primal,
man. It's still the most primal thing you probably could do in this world, huh?
Dude, when you are 25 yards from a buck, and you can hear them stepping, you can hear them eating the grass.
Right.
You pull that bow back, and it's something like they call it buck fever, but I call it something. It's something else. I think it's like that primal gene in us that just activates. Yeah. Like I'm actually about to hunt and put my dinner on the table.
Yeah.
And let the arrow fly, and dude, it's just ain't nothing like it, man. Like you know who Derek Wolfe is? So Derek Wolfe played defensive end for the Broncos. And the year that they won the Super Bowl, he sacked Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. He was like, dude, I had him on the podcast. He goes, bro, I played in front of millions of people. I sacked Tom Brady, jumped up and howled like a wolf. And nothing, even that moment right there, does not compare to when I let an arrow fly at my first elk.
Yeah, they say it's wild. Dude, elk specifically.
Bro, that hunt is probably one of the hardest hunts that any human being will do.
Because you got to walk for like miles with all the uphills.
Up and down hills, mountains. And then once like I was in Colorado, so we were like 12,000 feet up in the mountains. And I'm talking, I thought I was in shape. Not even close. Like legs burning, can barely breathe. Just up and down mountains all day long. Oh, there's a bull right there. Then you crawling and hiding behind shit. You finally get within, 15, 20 yards of them. You go to draw back, boom, a cow busts you. And now they all gone. So now you got to keep chasing them. And then once you put one on the ground, that's when it really starts. Because now
you have to get it out of there. Yeah.
You got to pack them out. So you got to pack them out, get it to where you're going, come back and just make multiple trips. And it's wild.
Yeah. But there's nothing else like it. It's almost the most primal thing you can do. There's something inside of us that like lights up some old stuff. Like Rogan talks about all the time about like when you catch a fish, that feeling. That's the feeling of like, oh, like if everything was shitty, like we probably could eat still.
Yep.
And that's a good feeling. That taps into something that like our ancestors had to do. Like they had to go get that.
Yeah,
food.
They had to. Like if you didn't go, if you went out and hunt and you didn't bring nothing back, you was going to starve that night.
Yeah.
And like that's one
trash.
Like, there's a lot of guys that do like this really backcountry hunt. Like they'll go out for 14 days.
Wow.
They're eating these we call them MREs in the military. You know what I'm talking about. These little freeze dried nasty meals, bro. I don't care. You can go into any Shields or Academy and look at all that freeze dried shit. None of that shit tastes good. The packaging is pretty, but none of that shit tastes good.
The Chili Mac MRE.
Chili Mac is it.
Chili Mac MRE, boy, that got me through some rough times. But
hey, Chili Mac is about the only thing that they've mastered. You know what I'm saying? But when you are on day 6 and you've been eating those freeze dried meals, all you're drinking is water. You hot, you tired. Because like me, I can't sleep in a tent. Like I'll stay up all night. And then
what's the longest you've been in the woods? Like consecutively?
7 days.
7 days?
7 days, and bro, you stink. Like it's just.
We were at Fort Polk, Louisiana. And we were doing like this training, like like simulated combat training, like in the middle of a swamp. And it was July, and we were out there I don't think I saw a building for 14 days. And I just had me and my rucksack and like a weapon.
Yeah.
And so like that's just I had a change of clothes. Like I burned most of the clothes when I got back. They were so bad, bro.
So, boy,
it was
man,
so bad.
Sweat rings.
We slept with no tent because we weren't allowed to use a tent because like we were in simulated combat. You can't put up a tent if there's people trying to shoot you. And so we slept on the ground every single night. It was something, dude.
Bro, I love it.
But being in the woods is fun though. Bro, like it's fun. Like it sucks. And it's like something about being out there with your boys and just complaining. Bro, that sounds wild. It's like trauma bonding, I guess. Like pain
about
bonding.
Everything, man.
Yeah.
Wow, man, because like my buddy Rex, he went with me elk hunting, and like we walking. I'm like, man, where we going? You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen nothing. Why we keep walking? Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Nope, we gotta keep going. You just gotta keep going. And you're just like, man, this shit suck, man. But like one thing I love about being in the mountains, you ain't got no cell phone service, ain't no Wi-Fi. To me, and this is my belief, I believe all these cell phone signals and Wi-Fi and all that shit weigh on our body, man. And when you're up in the mountains,
probably mess with our mind.
that shit is, you just feel free. And I just like love it. But again, it's hard on your body, man. Your legs, like what's up with me? That year I was cheap and I bought some cheap ass hunting boots. Second day, right boot blew out.
Oh,
so
no.
now the side of my foot is all exposed. My socks are wet. So now I'm having to change socks and put them by the fire at the end of the night and all that shit. Then the next day, left boot blew out. I gave that company a terrible. They started sending me some new boots. I'm like, nah, I don't want none of y'all shit. Then couldn't hold up to one elk hunt.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Some of the best boots I ever had is the stock army boots they gave us.
Bro, yep. I don't even know the brand name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Bro, them boots right there, hey, you can go buy the fancy ones. You can go get the other ones that are still in code or whatever. But like the ones out the box that they give you,
what they call them, standard issues.
Standard issues. I wore them to work after I got out for years.
They comfortable too.
They are,
man.
I still got a couple of them. Because I would just hoard them. I would always order them, like, because you could get like the right supply store and be like, I need boots.
Yep.
And just like every opportunity, I'd be like, I need boots, and I would just hoard them. I just kept, because I knew when I got out, I was like, man, these are the boots.
Yep. So you at the academy, you had this little card for the midshipman store. So anything that you got that came like in your, they have a big box they give you that's got all your uniforms, boots, all that, Sperry's, or we had New Balances was like our workout shoe. So any brand of New Balance in the mid store, you swipe that card. I don't know where the money came from. I to this day don't know. But you swipe that card and
the taxpayers
it go through. And hey man, we had some cats on the football team. They ended up getting kicked out, but bro, they was going in there because Oakley shades or.
Technically, yeah. Because you could be like,
they was swiping that card, getting 5 or 6 pair, then getting online and selling them jokers and getting the cash. Yeah, you can't do that shit.
Oh yeah, they go.
But bro, Sperry's, man, I had 5 or 6 pair of Sperry's all the time.
And that was part of the uniform?
Because
that's crazy.
We sailors as a part of our sailboat class.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So Sperry's and all that. So shit, boots, go uniform shop.
Yeah.
About 3 or 4 pair of them jokers. So hey, my dad be wearing them. He still got a pair.
Oh yeah,
he be rocking, man.
Yeah.
And then with football, we were at Nike school, so you just go into the athletic. Hey man, let me get a pair of the Pegasus. Get them. Any shoe Nike made, we had in Navy colorway. You just go in there and ask for them.
Yeah.
Size 12. Get your box. Send that box home. Boy, hey, ask Nick. Nick was decked out in Navy shit, man.
Yeah.
Christmas time come, I know what I'm buying. I know what everybody getting.
Yeah. I still wear the PT shorts. I have them on underneath my pants right now. They were the greatest shit I ever have. Like the PT shorts, the Army PT shorts are the best shit I ever have.
Man, I had a cat. So when I was at SAU, we had to wash our laundry in like a little community room, whatever. So this dude, I guess he must have didn't have no shorts or whatever. So he stole my PT shorts, PT shirt.
Oh no!
All that shit. And he walked around campus in it. I'm like, hey, bro, that's mine.
You didn't go to the Navy?
no, man. No, I got this at Walmart. I just look at his tag. Your name is Reed, and that's my service number right there, bro. What you talking about, bro? You give my shit back.
My pants say like 430 on them.
Bro, then he had my, we went to Texas Bowl, and we had a whole Nike sweatsuit. He in the calf in the sweatsuit. I'm like, bro, like, my cousin gave this to me. Bro, that's my number on the sleeve and my name on the other sleeve. What are you talking about, bro?
Oh, yeah. Just out here stealing.
Just stealing, man. Like, damn, I know this shit comfortable, man.
But yeah.
Get your own.
No, man, where was we before I went to the, being in the woods. Yeah. It's nice out there, bro. It really is. I've been doing a lot of backpack camping. That's been fun. not really hunting, but like because I've been staying in a hammock, and I got this little system or whatever to like it's got a cover, a bug net cover, and then you rig up like a ridge line and put a tarp over it and stake it down and stuff so you stay dry. And then I've been building like primitive fires and stuff like that. So
see, man, I'm slowly trying to get into that because like I'm as much as I love being in the woods. When it get dark, I'm terrified.
Oh, you scared when it gets dark?
Man, like a motherfucker, man. Scared. Like I'm saying, I'll be in the tent and I will stay up until the sun starts coming up, and then I'll try to get like 30 minutes of sleep before we have to get up and go hunt. Or sleep in the car or something. I just can't. But like my boy JP, dude, it's nothing for him to go out in the mountains and he'll be out there, 14, 15 days, no tent. He'll get next to a tree, go to sleep, and he out. And he comfortable. He don't care. He got his side piece on him and something pop up, he'll shoot him. Like, bro, you in grizzly country, though.
Yeah, that is different.
That's a whole different. I couldn't. Even in the tent, I couldn't sleep if it was in grizzly country.
I don't know. If I get in, as long as I feel like I'm going to stay dry, it doesn't bother me. I can just get in a sleeping bag and be all right. Normally, just a sleeping bag, all I need. I carried I had like the little mat that's about this big.
Yeah.
On a rucksack, and you could roll it up and kind of put it in the top,
Yeah.
And like I'd have that and like a sleeping bag, and I've spent so many nights just like just sleeping on the ground. It's like if you're out there for a long time, the first night is always rough because like you're trying to get comfortable, but the next night you're normally so tired. That's what I do. I just got to get so tired, bro. I got to be like activated, like really doing some shit. That way, when it's time to go to sleep, it's like, all right, I have nothing left. There is a YouTube channel that I really like that's outdoorsy. Outdoor Boys.
Bruh, old dude, he used to be
that's my boy. He's
catfishing carp.
Catfishing carp.
Yeah, catfishing carp.
Yeah.
And man, I used to watch that because I used to love catfishing and carp fishing. Love it. And then I started seeing here recently, I'm like, bro, that's because wasn't he like an attorney at one time?
Yeah, that's Luke Nichols.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, that's catfishing carp. But this dude be making little huts out of like digging in the snow and making like how you staying warm sleeping on snow. But he explained it all.
Yeah. We watch my son says I want to watch the camp videos. That's what he calls it.
Bro,
me and my son
protect that dude at all costs. Oh, he's gonna save America, bro.
He's so nice. Yeah, I figured out the other day he's a Mormon. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, but the dude is the nicest dude maybe on earth. But them Alaska people are typically kind of like that.
But they got
Which I don't think he actually lives in Alaska. He just goes there a bunch.
Bro, man, I watched one video. It was like a snowstorm, and he's like trying to get to this like safe house. I guess like in the mountains, they got these little like safety huts or whatever. That if you get stuck out there, you can just go in and he was trying to get to it. He's like, I think it's like 40 yards ahead, and you can't see nothing. Then all of a sudden it pops up, and they go in, and he makes a fire, and it's like my hands are cold, and he gets warm, and this thing, he in there just chilling.
Oh yeah, dude. This dude. One thing about Luke Nichols, he gonna eat good.
Yeah,
he'll be out there suffering. He said and I listened to him. He was on a podcast with this guy, and this was like the only outdoor podcast I ever listened to because I was just real interested. Because I was like, I want to hear him talk about this stuff and like figure out about him and stuff. And so he went to Africa with this dude that has the podcast. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember. But they stayed with this African tribe, and they like hunted like boar and like were eating and doing all like the stuff. But anyways, on the podcast, he was like, he said, I'm okay with suffering, but like if we're not going to eat good, then I'm going to sleep good. And he's like, if we're not going to sleep good, then I'm going to eat good. And he's like, that's my rule. So like, no matter what's going on, like I'm at least going to either eat good or sleep good.
Yeah.
And so like, dude, he be out there having gourmet meals.
Oh yeah,
in the middle of some of the worst situations you ever seen.
But he had some chicken and dumplings. He's like, yeah, my chicken dumplings are frozen, and he had the water boiling,
bro.
And he get put in there, and he goes, oh, we're gonna eat good tonight. And he's sitting there eating. I'm like, man, I bet that chicken dumpling but hit the spot,
bro. And he worked so hard, like to build a shelter. The newest one came out today, and he like it took him 5 hours. Like it got dark at 4 p.m. because it's Alaska, and the sun come up at 10 a.m. and goes down at 4. And so he had like an hour to build the shelter in the light, and then he had his headlamp on, and he built it till like 10 p.m.
Bro, he be looking cold too, man. You see.
Yeah.
his water be frozen. I'm like, bro, how?
But he cooked like this egg sausage, like casserole looking deal and put it on bread and ate it. And he was like, this was so good. I'll make another one. And then he made another one. I'm like, bro, you were out here not just thriving.
Bro, I know this is going to sound weird, but I think we all need to get back to that because
no
knows if shit pop off, man, like.
Oh, dude, I talked about this with your brother. There's no way. People are screwed, bro. They're so screwed. They don't know anything besides go to the store and get food.
Yep.
That's it. Go to the gas station, go to the convenience store, go to the fast food, go to the restaurant, go to Walmart. That's what they know.
That's it.
That's it.
It's a small percentage of the population that if shit hit the fan right now today, they're gonna be all right.
No.
Half of them is those doomsday preppers. They waiting for shit to pop off.
Yeah.
Like they gonna make it, but then there's like very small. It's like, all right, I can make my own. Like a lot of people can make their own fire. I can at least do that. Make my own fire. I can fish.
Like a flint and steel type situation? Oh, yeah, I'm a dog at that.
Like when I'm going out in the woods, I have it's like a little bracelet my homeboy son made me, and I can take it off and it's got a little flint.
Yeah.
And you can.
Yeah, I got one of them. It's got like a compass.
But I know how to rub them sticks together too.
Yeah. Make you a bow drill.
Yep. And
I need YouTube for that. If the world falls apart, I need to be able to look up YouTube because I got to look up a couple of things. But no, that means I'm probably messing up already. But no.
Man, but getting out and just living off the land, and there used to be this thing called Knolls where people would pay and they would give you a map and they would drop you off like out in Colorado or Arizona somewhere, and you gotta find your way back to the the rendezvous spot. And I know cats when I was in college that did it, and they was like,
"Do you have a compass?"
Yeah, you got a compass too.
And the map has like grids?
Yep.
Okay,
like
yeah, I could do it.
And they were like, man,
well, I mean,
that shit was like the worst thing ever. Like there's like at one point in time we thought we were gonna die. Because it's like say me, you, Nick, and a couple of guys went, we all go together, but they gonna split us all up.
Oh shit.
So we all in the same wilderness area, but we probably 20, 30 miles apart from each other. And we got to meet up in that rendezvous by, the fifth or sixth day.
We got to plot the points and do like a backward azimuth and all that stuff and follow
all that shit, man.
Oh my God.
And bro, like, I knew one dude, he actually ended up falling off a cliff and like broke his hips.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And they found like one of those guys was like on his, like just happened to be crossing paths and found him and they had to like carry his ass out.
Damn it. Bro, it is incredibly hard to walk a straight path. And that's like a lot of my experience in the woods has taught me and then like the land nav classes and stuff I took, like walking straight in the woods is one of the hardest things ever.
Yep.
You got to get a pace count. You've got to walk. You got to continuously be picking something straight in front of you. Like, all right, I'm walking.
It's easy to get off track. Yeah. Like, oh, it's a log here. And you just take the step left. And now you're walking back this way.
Yeah, that's what you're looking at the compass. You're you're picking like a tree. We got to go to that tree, but then you got hills and you got other trees in the way. You got to start going around shit. Then you got to get back to.
Right,
Did you ever watch that deal on MythBusters where they blindfolded them and had them try to walk straight? You can't. If you blindfold us right now, none of us can walk straight. Nobody can. Nobody can do it. As soon as you take the eyesight away, you will turn. You'll think you're walking straight. She seen it. Me and her watched it together. It was we were in Tulsa not that long ago, or it was like the last one of the deals. But whatever. If you get blindfolded, you cannot walk straight. No bullshit, bro.
Now like these dudes, I'm going to try that shit.
Yeah, go look at the episode, the MythBusters episode of it, or even just look up the clip on YouTube. They thought they were walking straight, dude. They were in this field going in circles.
So, like, do your ears kick in? So, wherever you hear the most sound is the kind of where you like lean towards.
Maybe I don't remember the science behind it. I think it could even be. I don't know. I don't remember. See if you can Google that. See if you can Google why we can't walk straight.
Equilibrium off. Like.
Yeah. Or maybe, dude, what if one of your legs was different? You start going your long leg.
Man.
Oh no, you would turn. You would be your short. Like I don't know. There's some science to it, but they did it. They tested like everybody on the show, like all the cast members. We're in a field with a tracker and a blindfold. And then they would beep, beep, beep. They'd show you.
They also put them in the woods with like blindfolds on and they were like, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does work.
Just like released them. And we're like, walk straight ahead and you'll make it there. And then they didn't. after like an hour.
Nah, yeah, I gotta look this up.
Yeah, you can't walk straight with a blindfold.
I feel like I can, but I guess you can't.
No, I'm telling you,
The
you
myth
can't,
been
bro.
busted.
Because when I watched it, I was like, I could do this shit. And then I was like, no, I don't think I can. Because none of them could. Science would say you can. But hey, we might prove, hey, that might be something we needed to go do.
Right.
Try to walk straight.
Try to figure it out.
Yeah.
I feel like if you, I guess the only reason you walk straight is because your eyes is navigating you. Without your eyes, you really don't know when you're leaning one way or the other.
Bro, this is going to sound so crazy and maybe offensive, but there is a blind guy that I know that's on Facebook, and I just really am curious, like, how's he operating it? Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Like, how, I wonder if it's, I don't know, like, make statuses, like statuses, comments at stuff.
Well, I mean,
You must have an interactive,
well,
like,
it has those programs like Dragonfly where you can put his like headset on and he can talk into it and it'll.
but is it, and it's like reading posts to him and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry, that was so random, but I was just thinking about like being blindfolded and I was like that because I was thinking like how hard it would be to be blind. That was one of the thoughts I was having. Because like if you can't walk straight, if you can't see, but I wonder.
That's why they got that stick.
Yeah,
that stick keep them within that.
So do people who are actually blind? I wonder if they get good enough to where they can walk straight because it's like.
That's all they know.
Yeah.
I know there's this, I don't know what the organization is called, but over where my storage unit is back in South Dakota for my job, it's like a place where I guess they do like rehab for blind people. And like I can always tell when it's a new person because they have somebody walking with them. But after about a month, they have to go around this whole block by themselves and get back. And you see them with their stick and they get there. Once they get like sufficient at it, it's like, all right, you good, you on your own.
Yeah.
And they send them out.
So apparently nobody really knows why we can't walk. So I've been getting different like researches from like 2009 all the way up to 2023, and nobody knows
why we can't walk straight blindfolded. Damn it!
It ain't in the programming.
Yeah. It's outside of the matrix.
That's it. It's outside. It's not in the programming.
Yeah, it says something like small states. And then they just add up.
And then you walk your ass in a circle. Damn it.
Hey, that's why all like stairs have to be all the same, regulated. Well, actually for firemen.
Really? So, if one stair was a little bit off, you'd fall on your face, huh?
Fall on your face.
Damn.
So that's why the codes gotta be the same. Because like in firemen, if it's smoky, they're not looking down the steps. They just know, your brain just knows it's the right amount. Once you walk like one or two steps, your brain is all right. It's all this far apart. If they were like,
that's like the game loads a little bit ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We're in a simulation, brother. I don't know, but
bro, hey, I'm a conspiracy guy, and I would say we are.
Yeah, that's the one that makes a lot of sense to me.
Like when I'm in the woods, there's this disease called CWD, and it's like you'll see like deer just like walk in a circle, or they'll just be just like standing there. You can walk right up to them and like touch them; they won't move.
Oh no, the character glitching.
That's exactly what.
Yeah, the game. That's a glitch in the game.
And they just gave it a name. Oh, CWD.
Yeah.
No, like this deer just walking around in a circle. Yeah, no, his code and his programming is all messed up.
Yeah. I wonder if that's what I wonder like stuff we consider miracles is just like glitches. You know what I mean? Like,
would you want to know if it was a glitch? I mean, if it was all like a program, would you want to know if it was a simulation?
I don't know, man. We might just have like an existential crisis and just like get out. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing matters, which people go through that too. Like when they change their beliefs, like some people are religious and then change their belief, then they go through some type of crisis where they're just like, oh, if there isn't this, then nothing matters, and like spiral out of control. And I don't know. I think it's good for us to feel like there is some sort of purpose. Yeah.
Well, I believe that because this guy I had on my show, the only guy I found with dreadlocks that hunts, Campfire Evolution, his name's Armando. But he was like, he found out that he has, I forgot what tribe that his family's a part of, but he like went there and started doing all the rituals and stuff. And he took ayahuasca.
Like Native American?
Yeah, he got some Native American blood
Yeah.
in him. So he took some ayahuasca,
Oh no.
and he was like, he was scared at first. And then he goes, and then I was falling out of the sky and I landed in the ocean. And in the ocean, there was this huge whale. And the whale is like, hey, whale. And his whale's like, I'm not a whale, I'm God. And he goes, oh, well, can you tell me what's the meaning of life? Why were we created? And he was like, I only created humans because I can't feel. I'm not sad or happy. So I created humans to have those emotions for me, and none of this shit matters. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah. And he told me none of this shit matters. And like, life is all just my entertainment, so I can have some type of feeling. And he was like, yeah. And he said, I came out of my trip, and man, I quit my job. None of this shit matters.
None of this shit matters.
I'm like, you quit your job? He was like, well, I mean, like, yeah, I quit my job and I started doing something that was more meaningful to me.
Yeah.
So, because I know if it's meaningful to me, it's meaningful to my God. And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
That makes more sense. But yeah, I think if you follow some of these, like, these thought processes, like, once you start believing, like, okay, maybe there isn't this or this, and you really start to believe that, like maybe everything is random and there's this and nothing matters, and you really can find yourself in a place where, like, I think one of the big reasons why people have chose to believe in things for so long is that it gives them that type of feeling.
Giving them a moral compass.
Yeah.
Because if we knew that none of this shit mattered, that there was no meaning to anything, man, I honestly think that a lot of cats would crash out, was what the young kids say.
Yeah, they would crash out.
Crash out,
yeah,
man. Because somebody asked me, like, why don't people steal? And I was like, well, people don't steal because, like, they know it's wrong, but they feel like a higher being is watching them. And if they knew that nothing was watching them, they would steal.
They would just go.
If I knew there's no consequence, like, there might not be a consequence in this life, but there's a consequence in the next life. I probably chill out.
Yeah.
And you got some guys that, I don't give a shit. I'm going to crash out. Even the guys that crash out, they still have a fear of some higher being.
Yeah. We have to value your life. And I think a lot of people find value in life by there being, like, an afterlife, or that there is some type of judgment, or there is some type of being outside of this that they have to answer to, or something like that. Or that's how they find, like, morality.
Yeah.
Because if you, like I said, following the everything's random thought process can bring you to, like, some dark thoughts of, like, okay, I could just go do this, and it doesn't.
Nothing happen.
Nothing matters.
Yep.
There is consequences, but the problem with that thought process is that even if everything is random, everything sucks, and everything is this and nothing matters, there is consequences in this life for sure. So you can't get away from that. You may think that it doesn't matter after this life, but, like, what you do here, regardless of what you believe, is important because it affects other people most of the time. Right.
Man, I saw this meme the other day, this little video. I look into stuff way too deep, especially when I take an edible or something, but I get way in it. But it was like a random video of this guy picking up a rock and throwing a rock into the ocean. And then it starts playing this, like, sad music, and it's like the police rock is talking to, like, the mom and daddy rock because they can't find, and, like, that rock was a kid.
Oh,
so they got, like, they at the rock school, and all the rock kids are looking at the empty desk because the kid's missing. Yeah. And they have, like, a vigil for him, and it's like, damn, this dude just picked up a rock and threw it thinking this shit, they ain't gonna affect nobody. But it affected, like, a whole rock ecosystem. I was like, I need to get off these things.
Yeah. That's like a too high thought.
Yeah, it was like, oh my goodness, man. And
that's the thing. There's things out there that we don't think about that we affect.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Oh yeah. I mean, and we just assume that, like, certain things, like, I don't know, they're things that aren't like us and don't process information like us, they immediately get put, like, on a different tier than us, right? So, like, I know that if I do something to you, there'll be an effect. And since you are more like me, and I know that you'll respond similar to how I respond because I'm a human, you're a human, that makes it different. And I don't know if it's morality or whatever, but I could go do something to, like, maybe like another animal or something else, and it would be different because I think just because how we have, like, a tier system, like a hierarchy of, like,
it can't hurt me.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's true, but Like it's like in the hunting world, like we are all big on like conservation. Like, you know, there is a cause and effect to hunting. A lot of guys want to go out and just hunt till I can't hunt no more, and there'll be more deer next year. Like, nah, that shit don't happen, man.
You get rid of all the deer.
You go out there and get rid of them real quick, because if you start looking at a lot of the, you know, deer herd numbers across the country, they ain't good. They're not good. We're over hunting, definitely.
Even with tags and
even with tags, yeah. That's why states like Colorado, they kiboshed over the counter archery tags, because the quality of hunt is getting bad. You got guys paying $700-800 to come out and hunt in Colorado, and you're going out there and there's 40, 50 people in the same area. You know, and the deer and the elk herds are like, they peep game.
Yeah.
I know this
they're
time.
Smart. Yeah, they're
this
smart.
time of the year, I'm not stepping out. I know what's going on.
Yeah, animals that get preyed on for long periods of time, something that's happening in their brain. Like they're not. It's the same thing that happens to us, and we learn like. I mean, they may learn slower than us, but their brains are adapting.
No, bro. I think they learn fast, bro.
Yeah.
Especially like this. What people they'll be like, oh yeah, I caught Mr. Big slipping. So they call big deer Mr. Big. No, you didn't catch Mr. Big slipping. You caught a 2 to 3 year old deer who just happened to have good genetics slipping. When that deer gets 4 to 5 years old and older than that, he knows everything like the back of his hand. Yeah. Every scent, everything he knows.
Yeah.
And he starts relating scent to danger. When I smell this particular thing, this normally happens. That's why a lot of guys say when rifle season starts, I don't see no deer. I saw deer all archery season. Rifle started, I didn't see nothing. Well, what happens in rifle season? Guys pull their rifle out of the gun safe. They go to the range. When you at the range, you're shooting. What you put in the air, that gun smoke is getting in the air. Deer, they can smell what you ate 3 days ago.
Damn.
On you. So that gunpowder's in the air. And you don't think that deer's, oh, last time I smelled this, a couple of days after that, I saw it, pow, pow, pow.
Yeah.
Johnny got took out in the field. So I'm good on that. They turn nocturnal. They turn nocturnal. Yeah. I know at night when it's dark, don't nothing shoot at me. So I'm only gonna move at night.
Nighttime, yeah.
Yep. So there's definitely a cause and effect to all of this shit, man.
Yeah. A good hunter is realizing that, you know, I'm taking one animal off when it comes to when it's time to get the meat. I'm taking that animal out of the playing field, and that will have an effect on the rest of the ecosystem.
Yeah, because then, like, especially like when elk hunting, most guys you go after the herd bull. That's gonna be the biggest bull in that herd, and he's gonna have a harem of cows. So he's gonna have 20, 30 female elk around him, and then around him you're gonna have what's called satellite bulls. Them are the ones that, man, I'm just hoping that a cow slip out, I can take her and start my own harem. But that big bull will chase them off. And a lot of times, those satellite bulls, if they know a hunter's in the area, they know, he ain't coming after me.
Yeah, but if I can,
but if I can pull that big joker out, he might be coming after him. So he'll try to spar with him and get him away from the cows, and will push him towards you. And you take him out, he's gone. Now I got all his cows. Now I'm the herd bull.
Yeah. And does that do something to the herd though? Like taking out the top dog? Or is it just natural that the top dog gets took out and the new one takes over?
New one take over.
Yeah.
Now it's a fight.
Yeah.
So now who going now?
Because all the satellites
now the satellite bulls like, oh snap, oh buddy dead.
Yeah.
So now it's a fight for who gonna take over, and normally it's the next biggest one. Yeah. You can't. I mean, unless you got like a smaller one that got that dog in them.
Gotta have that dog in you. No, that's crazy. It's such a foreign thought to think about, like getting took out, like, and just replaced, like, because that doesn't happen to us. Like, no. It does in other countries.
Oh, yeah,
like us as Americans.
Or if, like we were talking earlier, if you in the mafia, you got everybody gunning for you because they want that spot. They want to be the Don.
Yeah. That's like the turnover and like, because I get into like the ancient Rome stuff and stuff like that. If you look at the, like how long people ruled, like people are lucky to rule for like 5-6 years. Yeah. Because somebody will kill your ass.
Because I want your spot.
Yeah, they will take your spot. They will kill you. That's literally like the plot of Game of Thrones. Yep. It's just people are dying over and over again.
And I can't live like that.
No, that's...
Because I like to think like, man, if I was a ruler, everybody would love me. But nah, because there's going to be somebody like, I want what they got. I want the money. I want the fancy house. I want the girl.
Yeah. They will poison your bread.
Yep.
They will cut your throat.
So, you know, they have you in the Coliseum and everybody, you with your homeboy, walk up like Caesar and
Yeah, dude. Didn't he got stabbed like a bunch, didn't he?
like 400 times.
Yeah,
man.
it was a lot.
And then his homeboy Mark Anthony did it in.
Yeah. It'd be like that. That's too much. Where can they find you on social media? We'll do all that now.
You can find me on Instagram at DA_DreadedArcher17. You can find me on TikTok, same thing, DA_DreadedArcher. And then on Facebook, just DeAndre Reed.
Yeah.
And then, of course, CarbonTV. Go on CarbonTV, go to podcast. You'll find the Dreaded Archer podcast. I'm normally the first thing that pop up.
Yeah.
And then Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
That's always good when you pop up there.
That's it.
Yeah. I love it, man. Thank you for coming on the show. I don't know if I've got it set up yet, but we've got some other content from this episode. Y'all make sure to check that out. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Y'all be blessed.
Peace.